Welcome to the Listening Heart Podcast,
where we take a moment to truly listen, explore, and connect with the stories and experiences that matter most.
We're your hosts, Brian and Summer Smith.
So wherever you are, take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's begin this journey of listening and discovery together.
Hi.
Blooper. Do we have a blooper? Hello, everyone.
Welcome back. We're
Well-
back. We're back.
We're
Yay.
back.
Episode 9. Welcome back to the Listening Heart Show. This is Brian. This is Summer Smith.
Yes. Hi. We
Oh.
hope everyone has been. Oh, those are our dogs. Hopefully, everyone has been wonderful. We are back from vacation. Really, just time off for the podcast. It's not really vacation from life because life has been
Life.
lifing.
Yeah.
Life has been lifing. But we took a break. You want to tell them why we took a break?
We took a mental break. It was a lot going on, and we decided at the end of June,
Mm-hmm.
that last episode in June, that we was like, you know what, this is a lot. It's a lot putting on a podcast. It's a lot personally that we're going through. So I said, Summer, I need a break. I said, I need a break, or I can't do this anymore. So that's basically
He had
what
a
happened.
meltdown.
I had a
I got-
meltdown. Had a basic. It wasn't like that, but it sure was close.
I'm sorry. That's how I perceived it.
Okay.
Yes, that's how I perceived it.
It wasn't like that, but definitely it was we decided that every
Yes.
2 months or what?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
every 2 months we're gonna take a break.
Yeah, so we're gonna do 2 months podcast and then 1 month off. 2 month podcast, 1 month off.
Yeah.
If the Lord says the same.
If the Lord says the same.
Yes.
If you notice, we don't have no guests. We are the guests.
Yes.
So I guess that's basically what we're gonna talk about. Is basically what we did in the month, what we learned during this month, and what we continually learning.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely continuing to learn.
Yeah, so even it's a learning process. We're still learning about each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in I wouldn't say newlywed stage, but we're
4 years in. We
4
just had
years
our
in.
4-year anniversary in June.
So yeah,
Mhm.
we're still learning each other. We're still learning how to communicate. We're still learning what pushes us, what doesn't push us. So
Mhm.
all of this has been a learning process, and that's one of the things we learned. And during, because we mentioned that before, that we do go to
Counseling.
counselors.
Mhm.
That's no
Mhm.
secret, but that's
Right.
one of the things that we learn, and even to talk to each other 30 minutes a day, which
Right.
is a challenge for one of us. So that's what I'm learning, to talk.
Mhm.
So it's
But I also think, okay, so yes, we are still getting to learn each other, and but I think that is something that's just talking to other married couples. That's something that is continuous, because we as people, evolve. We
Right.
grow and change, and I think that is part of the challenge of being married, like growing with each other, continuing to learn each other. Continuing to give each other space to grow,
That's true.
grace.
Grace.
We've been learning a lot of that.
Learning a lot of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot, and so all that kind of came about in like one day for me. It was like
It came to a head.
Yeah, it was just like, if I don't do something, then this won't work. And we're learning, if we don't put our priority, making our marriage our priority, then none of the other stuff will matter.
Right.
So that's what we're learning.
Well, God is our priority.
True.
And then, after that, our marriage. And, and you get kind of caught up in life, doing different things. If you have kids, you are, doing things with the kids and And that's another kind of reason why we kind of wanted to talk about boundaries now. This is the time of year, in my opinion, where it's like a reset. You've had summer, and you're trying to think of all these fun things to do with the kids, and kids are home, and you're like, oh Lord, we gotta buy a whole bunch of food, just all of these things. Like, your routines have been changed throughout the summer. And then come fall, like, school should be started. Like, this weekend is tax-free weekend in Missouri. And so, this is the time that you really start to think about, okay, what are my routines now? Mm-hmm. What are, what should we be focused on as a family? Mm-hmm. What should we be focused on for the kids? Okay, we know lunches are coming up. We know we got to have food in the house when they come home, or, they got to get on the going to bed schedule, going to bed earlier. Right. The parents got to go to bed earlier, like all of these different things. Right. And so this is like the perfect time to like reset. And so as we were off, we really had to kind of look at just ourselves, what our priorities were. And we decided that our marriage is a priority, which it needs to be. It needs to be. And so, with that, we started to look, like today we were talking about, just kind of, I say yes a lot to different things.
Everything.
Oh, well, everything, I guess. And so it's easy to say yes to things when you don't have any boundaries. And so we were kind of talking about that today. Like, boundaries are very important to not get overwhelmed, to even focus on the things that matter, because you could just get so caught up in everything else and all of these things that don't matter, and you just get lost. And so that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today. And if you have any input, let us know in the comments. If you have boundaries or things that you have in place that keep you in your boundary, feel free to put that on there. But again, so we talked about it, and in order to, I guess, put in your boundaries in place, or the right boundaries in place, you have to know what your priorities are, because if you don't have any priorities, anything that's coming up,
will knock you off.
Yeah, will knock it off. Like, if you have a list and something else comes up, it could just knock it off, and so then you never accomplish what you want to accomplish, or grow in the area that you want to grow. Or that the area that God is calling you to grow in, because you're allowing other things to just come and knock it out of place. So, what are your boundaries, or not boundaries? What are your priorities as we've been kind of thinking about it? And
well, I think we really haven't set really a priority, but I know our first priority is first God and then us. And so I think that's where I was getting off track, because just like you were saying, I was making everything else a priority before us, which then puts stress on us, because we're worried about everything else. And then we're worried about ourselves at the end of the day. Well, you done already exhausted all the energy. So about time you want to have a conversation. I'm like, about what? I didn't heard everything. Right. I didn't heard everything all day. So I think I mentioned to you that about my job. It's like I had to stop putting everybody else's feelings, thoughts, and then bringing it home. Mm-hmm. So I had to stop doing that. And making my house my priority, my life, my marriage, my priority. So that's one of the things I'm learning, that to separate the two. As soon as I come to the door, like someone, Brian has given us or given me the information, wash your hands. It seems simple, but I'm actually washing my hands from the day. Like everything that I've been through it's like, okay, as soon as I wash my hands, I'm done with that because I'm focused in on my home life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I need to do.
Oh, you're just so sexy right now.
Oh, thank you. Wasn't expecting that, but okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm just looking into your eyes and looking at you telling me I'm a priority. I mean, that feels good. So yes, God is my priority, first priority, and then my marriage. And you're right. I hadn't prioritized our marriage because, we'd be, you'd be at work and I'd be working. And then when you would get home, I mean, I guess I'd be working on dinner and stuff like that, but I was so occupied, with so many things. Like we have this podcast, and then we also have a business called Serve Love LLC. And so, we've been working on things with that. And then we do go to counseling. Like we said, that's not a thing we hide. We go to counseling. And so there we're reading books, The Power of a Praying Life by Stormy O. Martin, and they have Power of a Praying Husband by Stormy O. Martin. So those are really good books. So there's that reading and studying, and then I'm a part of another group, and so I was coaching with them, and so I was just so busy with all of these different things where I was lacking in things that I needed to be focused on in our marriage. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad we did that reset. We decided to, make it a priority. And
it's still a process. It's not like It's not easy to shut that stuff off.
Right.
But we're learning if we don't make ourselves the priority, then none of that is going to work out. Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what we're learning now is like, okay, what do we first do? And then it trickles down to everything else. Mm-hmm. Because if we're not okay, we can't help other people.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And there were times where we just weren't okay.
Right.
What we kind of, when you had that not little, but the, outburst or whatever you call it, like just a realization of you just couldn't do it anymore.
I just went psycho or something.
I mean, well, it kind of was. It was like out of the blue, but for me, it was out the blue. Like, wait a minute, what? And you were like, no, we're not doing it today. And I'm like, what? No, that's no.
Yeah.
So, so that was like right before
because I have
a show.
Yeah, I have an easy on-off switch.
What does that mean?
Meaning that I could have been like, hey, let's not do this. And I would have been okay with it. And I think that's what the struggle is when we come to any kind of conflict. For me, it's like, I don't need to deal with that. Where it kind of tugs at your heartstrings. And I'm like, why? So I think that's where we kind of even mentioned earlier the yes and no about stuff. Mm-hmm. I really don't have a problem with saying no. Where you're like, well, what are they? I hope not. Who cares? It's just it's how you're feeling because you're going to pay for it at the end of the day, and they've moved on what they like.
But I think that also has to do with me, not having clear boundaries. So that's another thing. Like once you have your priorities and you set your boundaries, it has to be clear. Like how you put up a fence around your house. I read somewhere like the fence, when you set up a fence, the fence, or it might have been on Fences. The movie Fences.
The movie?
It might have been. I don't know, but it was like, you put the fence up and the fence is meant to keep people out, but also to keep things in.
No, I think you're thinking too deep.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know where you saw that.
I don't know. But anyway, it sounds good.
It does sound good, but I don't know if that came from the movie.
But you have to, you have to be clear about what your boundaries are, because if they're not clear, people can cross them. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't really have clear boundaries, and I'm still working on it. Mm-hmm. And so it's easy for people to kind of, say things and I'm like, oh yes, or, but now I take my time before I say yes. I'm learning.
Okay,
I'm doing better.
Yeah, because You wasn't like that 3 hours ago.
Well, whatever. I'm doing better. I don't say yes as easily, I don't think.
It's a process.
Yes, it's a process. So we do have some words of wisdom from this it's called Boundary Phrases from Kimber Mental Health. Yes. And it's 10 boundary phrases therapists want you to know. So before we go into this, did we finish talking about what we've been doing since we've been gone? We've been talking about boundaries. We did go out of town. We celebrated a wedding.
Yeah, my niece got married.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
What else? Our son has a play that's going on.
This weekend.
Yeah, this weekend, and then like next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think mainly we've just been spending time learning about boundaries and learning about each other. So I think that's really where we've been, which is good. Oh, we've been reading the book called The Marriage Covenant. So any married couples out there, this is a really good book. It's called The Marriage Covenant, Restoring God's Design for Love, Legacy, and Lasting Commitment. And it's by Dr. Stan Archie. It looks like this. And it's a easy read, and we're just, going through it. And
they can't see that.
Sorry. Just, it's a really good book, and you can get it from Christian Fellowship. I think that's what it's called. Christian Fellowship. I want to say Baptist Church, but it might not be Baptist. CFBC, Christian Fellowship Baptist Church. Yes. So, Dr. Stan Archie, but it's a really good book. Again, like I said, we read the book, Power of a Praying Wife by Stormy O. Martin and Power of a Praying Husband by Stormy O. Martin. So anyway, just to help you get into these boundaries that we're learning, it's called 10 Boundary Phrases Therapists Want You to Know. It says, the words we use have power. They can build someone up or tear them down. They can establish healthy relationships or leave intentions vague. When setting boundaries, whether at work, school, or family and friends, it's important to be mindful of the language we use to communicate clearly and draw defined lines to protect mental health and personal autonomy. So that's one of the things I have trouble doing because, it was a sermon I think that Seal did, and it was he was do a slow yes and a fast no or something like that, or a slow no and a fast yes.
Probably a slow yes and a fast no. I don't know. I don't remember. I think it's a slow yes though. That's what.
Yes. Okay. A slow yes and a fast no. So when it was the basis was, before you say yes, think about it, process it, before you say yes. And then the fast no is, a lot of times we know that it's something that we don't want to do. So don't do a slow no, because a slow no is going to go into a yes. Like you said. And so that's kind of what I do. I'll say, and that ends up being a yes. And then I regret it at the end.
Yes.
And so let's not do that. So, understanding boundaries and how to communicate them. So boundaries are personal limits we create to protect our emotional and mental well-being. They help us say, this is what I need to feel safe and respected. We shouldn't look at boundaries as pushing people away. It's about showing up for yourself. And we kind of talked about that when we were talking about boundaries, that we need to be clear with each other. And it's not, saying, I don't want you to be around.
But I already know that boundary's been set. So like I was saying to you earlier, if you were to tell me, look, between this time, this is my time, then I already know that you don't need no distractions, either phone calls or me bothering you. I know that during this time is for you. Mm-hmm. But if you tell me that and then you're doing the other stuff, then I'm like, well, I'm confused now.
Mm-hmm.
because you just told me that you need these boundaries, but you're making it for everybody else.
Right.
So then it confuses me.
So that's not a clear boundary.
It's not a clear
Yeah.
boundary for me, because then it's like,
Mhm.
I can make time for other people, but you just told me that you need it this time.
Right.
Unless it's just dire,
Right.
like we talked about. Unless it's something like, okay, I think you really need to do that, but
Mhm.
we need to clearly set a boundary, not because it's a bad thing. No, we all need time.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were just talking about too, like, so one of my priorities now is prioritizing me. So of course, God, our marriage, but then also me, because I end up saying yes and helping and doing a lot of other things, and then I leave myself out of the picture.
Zero.
Zero
You're
time
drained
for
out.
myself. Drained. And so so that's what we talked about. Like, I would say, like, okay, this is the time where I'm gonna read 15 minutes, or my prayer time, or my, whatever, and then I clearly communicate that with you, and then you honor that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. It says boundaries are how we protect our peace, reduce constant burnout, and model self-respect. Yeah, because if we don't align with the boundaries, we're not respecting ourselves. Like, we respect other people when they give a boundary, but
we don't respect ourselves. And that's what I was telling you about, a family member of yours that will definitely tell you, respect my space.
Right.
But you, in turn, when they do that to you, you be like, yes.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's
it's
one
hard
of,
for me. I'm working on it.
Yeah, you're working on it.
So it says, why words matter when setting boundaries. Knowing your limits is one thing. Communicating them is another. That's where boundary phrases come in. These simple, respectful statements help you speak up for your needs without guilt, conflict, or confusion. And so that's what I'm working on, okay? Because I'll feel guilty sometimes. So it says, therapists often coach clients to use boundary phrases or tools as for self-advocacy. It's not being harsh, you're being clear. And when you use these consistently, they can strengthen relationships and protect your mental health. And that's what we want to do. Boundary phrases help build a barrier that protects your mental health by giving you permission to say no apologetically, putting yourself first without guilt or remorse. So here are some boundary phrases. So one is, I would love to help with that, but I don't have the capacity at the moment. This phrase acknowledges that you are interested in what the other person is doing or asking for help with, but it lets them know you cannot lend a hand at this time. And by using this phrase, you avoid overextending yourself by taking on more than you can handle. And that's usually what I do. I end up taking on more than what I can handle.
Right.
And then it just gets, and that was coming in between us, I had to prioritize our marriage, and in order to prioritize our marriage, like, I need to use these phrases because this is a boundary. Mm-hmm. And you're being respectful, you're declining the request that may overwhelm you or compromise your capacity. So example scenarios are, you're asked to take on additional responsibilities at work. Oh, that reminds me. Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen Veronica on YouTube? Oh, she's hilarious. So you guys, Veronica on YouTube, look her up. It's like a cartoon or whatever. And she's at work, and I mean, the people she work with are always trying to compromise her boundaries.
Oh, you're talking about the little stick figure?
Yes, the stick figure. And she's like, no, that's not my job. I'm not doing that. Or no, you asked me to work overtime, but this is my time. So she's funny. So it says you're asked to take on additional responsibilities at work. Look up Veronica on YouTube and see what she got to say and memorize some of her phrases. Okay. So number 2, another phrase is, I need some time to think about that before answering. That's kind of what you do. Not kind of. That's what you do.
That's what I do.
Yeah. It's just,
which then frustrates you because you want to answer it.
Right. But no, I've that's part of learning you.
I didn't say
and
that's what I'm
growth.
saying. That's what we're learning each other. And that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. That's what we're learning about each other. We what's the word? We're just different. So we process things differently.
Right.
Where you're like, okay, like give me a few moments to really think about because you said a lot.
Right.
So, I won't have
my brain is like going like this.
And where I'm like, no, that'll make no sense. So give me a few minutes to kind of,
right,
process everything you done said, and I'll give you an answer.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it says sometimes you're not prepared to answer right away. You may need to look at your calendar, talk to your partner, or even take some time to reflect how you want to answer. So this gives you time without having any pressure. And so, you want people to respect your boundaries. And maybe I wasn't respecting your boundaries when you were telling me, like, hold on.
Probably not. It's not a maybe. No, you wasn't. Because, like I just said, you wasn't.
But it's part of growth. I'm learning. And now, you know what? We have very good conversations now because I have realized that he's going to tell me he needs time. And I like the answers better when he comes back because before I was like, no, I need to know right away. Give me the answer right away. Cause I'm, I want to process and go to the next thing. And so it would be like, harsh answers or, really fast things. But now that I give him time to process the information and think about it and come back, it's great. Like I can get his answer and then move forward and it makes sense. So, we have to learn to respect people's boundaries. So let's see. Another one is I need some space and I will reach out when I'm ready. I've used that one time. I have used that one time.
You have?
Yeah, once I did.
Oh, how'd that work out?
I got the space and I was able to think about some things.
So if you can do it once, why is it so hard to do it now?
I think it's probably part of that people pleaser sort of thing that I have.
Yeah, I guess.
And I don't want to let anyone down, So I feel like if somebody's asking for my help, and I'm a giver. So if somebody's asking for my help,
you gotta do it.
Yeah, I feel like I have to do it. I have to figure out a way to, work it in my schedule. Because why would they ask me? You know what I mean? Why would they take the time out to ask me? And I don't want to make them feel bad for reaching out and asking for help, or whatever it is.
Gotcha.
But I have to practice learning these phrases because it's not about guilt. It's about honoring my boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I have to honor my boundaries if I'm going to expect anybody else to honor them. So
yeah, because like I said, there's a lot of people have boundaries and they will be quick to say no. Mm-hmm. Then your feelings are hurt. Like, right. Well, I did it for you. Why can't you? Well, because you didn't respect their boundary when it's clearly been put on the table. Like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So yeah, it's nothing wrong with setting boundaries. There's nothing wrong with being selfish at times because, like I told you, in the end, you're the one that's going to be going through it.
Right.
You're going to pay for it. So whether someone asks you to do something and you like, yes, I'm like, did you really think about it? Did you think about what you just said?
Right.
No, I didn't. 3 hours later, you're like, I shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, I tried to tell you.
I should look at my schedule. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to put more things in my schedule because I'm like, how you make these deals or, yes. Because I'm always saying yes.
Yes, that's your favorite word.
Yes, I can do it. Yes.
Yes.
I can help. Yes.
Yes, we will. That's what that's what you normally. Yes, we'll be there. Like, I ain't agreed to nothing. Don't be putting me in your world.
But I'll say yes, but then I won't write it down. I'm like, oh, okay. And then somebody else is like, oh, can you help with this? Or can you do this? Or are you available? Yes, I am. Yes. Or I'll say, let me check my calendar. And then I'll look at the calendar. There's nothing there. And I'm like, ooh, okay, well, I guess I'm free. And then later on, I've realized, oh, wait, I already said yes to such and such. And I just never write it out. So I'm trying to get better with writing things down in my calendar.
Something wrong with it.
Yeah. Okay, so I need some space. I will reach out when I'm ready. This says, especially in an emotionally charged environment, you may need to take some time apart from the person or situation before you're ready to communicate further. And that's true. Like we've done that. Yes, we've learned that is a good thing. Okay, because our partners, our husbands, our wives, we have to. So what we learned is that you can hurt your spouse so easily because we're the closest ones to our spouse, and so we want to, and we know that words hurt. Words hurt. There's power in words. The Bible tells us that the power, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. And so my job is to build you up, to be there, to, it's not to tear you down. Mm-hmm. And so I can tear you down with my words. So instead of saying something, it's better for me to take a break, step back, calm down, talk to God, get it together, and then, approach you. And the same for you. I mean, we don't want to do that to our spouses. We don't want to tear them down. You got anything to say about that?
No, because you just said it. We good.
Okay. So number 4, I value our relationship, but I need to set a boundary here. So it says this phrase is a great tool for self-advocating when you want to maintain the connection with someone, but not the dysfunctional elements. Okay. When you use this phrase, you are showing maturity and clarity while acknowledging you value the other person. So I value our relationship, but I need to set a boundary here. That's a good one.
Yeah, because that doesn't necessarily mean marriage. That could go to anybody that
right.
you value, relative or friend or whatever. So that kind of goes different ways.
Mm-hmm. And to me on this one, like, yourself, that's one of the reasons too why I need time for myself, because we get to know ourselves when we spend time with ourselves. Let's spend time with God. He knows the most about us. And so
Not the most. He knows everything about it.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, that's the most. He knows everything about us. So in order to know ourselves more, we have to spend more time with God. And so, I feel like saying this, I value our relationship, but I need to set a boundary here. That's knowing what your boundaries are, knowing yourself, and like being clear. Like, mm-hmm. This is my boundary, mm-hmm. So I like that one. It says, so number 5, I would love to take on that project. What can we move so I can have space to accomplish it? It says this phrase is particularly valuable in the workplace, where you may be presented with multiple opportunities to take on new and exciting projects. It can be easy to overload yourself and collect too many eggs in one metaphorical basket.
Yeah, that's true. That's you as well.
Oh, that's me too?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. I do. And I have to, yeah. That's why this is good. I need to learn these phrases. I need to write them down and memorize them on my heart, like the Bible. Let's see. Number 6, I don't feel comfortable talking about that topic. You're never obligated to give an answer. If someone asks you a question or tries to start a conversation about something you aren't comfortable with, let them know in no uncertain terms.
I have to work on that.
Because you think you have the answer to everything?
No.
Just say you don't feel comfortable talking about the topic?
Yeah, especially with, not with you. It's just like I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it differently.
It's I don't feel comfortable talking about that topic. So it says like an example, a friend asked about something highly personal. Like somebody asked you something personal and you say I don't feel comfortable talking about that. Or someone is trying to gossip with you about others.
No, I don't have a. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I got a problem with that with coworker at work. It does stuff like that.
Okay.
So I need to make sure that
I don't feel
I don't
comfortable.
feel talking to you.
Right.
That-
No, I don't feel comfortable talking about that topic.
I don't feel good talking to you.
Topic.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. Please get away.
Okay. 7. Thanks for the invite, but I'll sit this one out.
That's what
I
you
need to work on that.
Oh,
Man. I just feel like if somebody's, wanting me to share in their excitement or celebration, or I feel like I have to, and I think also too, it has to do with how attached I am to my family. And okay, well, I'm saying that word lightly, I guess, because I have left. I'm cleaving to you. You know what I mean? Like we're one. So not attached that way, I guess, but like I have a very close relationship with my family, and so I feel like, well, I want to be involved. I want to go to all of the baby showers and the birthday parties and the I got a promotion on my job party, like all the get together, ladies night, cousins night. Like I want to do all those things, but sometimes I just can't. Like, when we were in that program last year, we were just doing, we went to, we had classes, we had homework, we had like all the different, like I had to say no, and that really, really hurt me.
Yeah, that did bother you.
It did. I had to say, but that boundary, that what was it? The priority was getting through that class. The priority was homework. The priority was reading. And so I had to say no. And it just hurt me so bad. To
the core.
Yeah. And it was like, you not coming, what? Like, and so I felt bad, all that kind of thing. But I had to do it, So anyway, I need to practice this one. Thanks for the invite, but I'll sit this one out. And if you, anybody, if any of these resonate with you, type it in the comments. So you may not always have a specific reason for saying no. That's okay. Sometimes you just don't feel like joining an activity or social event. Ooh, see?
So that's easy for me.
Yes, it's very easy for you.
Yeah, I'll be like, I just don't want to go.
Right.
Where you like, what's going on? I just don't want to go.
But then there's sometimes where I don't want to go, but I still like.
Got to get over that.
I feel like I gotta go. I feel like I gotta go.
Like you gonna miss something.
Yeah, well, maybe that's it.
You just feel like it's something that you need to be there. You're so excited.
Right. That could be it. Maybe I'm nosy.
Woo. That part. You just feel you got to be part of it.
Okay, so it says, that's okay. Sometimes you just don't feel like joining an activity or social event, but you're still grateful for being invited to participate. This phrase shows gratitude while politely declining the invitation. So thanks for the invite, but I'll sit this one out. Okay.
Maybe I had to work on the way I say it. Just like you just mentioned there.
Because you want to show that you're grateful for the invite. But
I'm still ain't coming.
Right. Yes. Okay. 8. Please don't speak to me in that way. Oh, you good at saying that?
Yes.
Now I got a question. Do you say that to other people like that? Because you sure say it to me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, not everyone is going to communicate with you respectfully. Although I think it's respectful. Apparently not. Even if the person being disrespectful is in a position of authority, such as a supervisor or parent, you have the right to respectfully dialogue from both sides. This phrase is polite and shows respect to the other person while establishing a clear standard for how you expect to be treated as a person. Okay. Okay. So they have like your parent is speaking harshly to you. Someone is using condescending language or speaking with a harsh, unkind tone. Um, you or your teen are having a disagreement, or a boss is not treating you with respect. Okay. So 9 is I love that we have the same goal, but I believe we are thinking about different paths to get there. I think that's a useful phrase in marriage. Because there have been times maybe either one of us didn't say, that we didn't agree with the other person. We didn't say it in a nice way.
That's it. Like we saying the same thing, you just saying it differently.
Right. So I love that we have the same goal, but I believe we are thinking about different paths to get there. So all ideas are valid, but you can't always implement every single one. This phrase acknowledges the validity of the other person's idea without undermining your perspective. Okay, that's good because, like, sometimes, like you said, we'll be talking and sometimes I don't think you value what I'm saying or listening, and then you might feel the same way. But if we say it like this, like I value, we have the same goal.
Yeah, but it don't come out that
right.
It don't come out that way. So yeah, we have to work on that one.
Yeah,
I value what you're saying, but
yeah.
you're still
we
wrong.
have the same goal, but I believe we are thinking about different paths to get there.
True, because I think we both want it our way.
Yeah,
what you do.
Well, maybe. So, what can we do in that situation? Well, let me see what it says. Okay, it says. It says all ideas are valid, but you can't always implement every single one. This phrase acknowledges the validity of the other person's idea without undermining your perspective. Both ideas may be equally effective, and pointing out you still have the same end goal can make it easier to look at both sides objectively and determine the best way forward. So maybe that's what we need to do. Just lay it out. Okay, we have the same, acknowledge that we have the same goal. And then you say your way of going somewhere. And then I say my way of going somewhere. And then we objectively look at it and.
Yeah, that's a work in progress. We'll see how that goes.
Yes. Well, I don't think we've ever tried that way.
I said we'll see how it goes.
Okay. So in some scenarios, they say you're in a team meeting and have a different idea from a coworker on how to accomplish a task. You're co-parenting and trying to decide how to handle a situation with your child. You're in a position of authority and discussing. That's Amazon outside. It wasn't even for us, and they just yelling. So I hope you're okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so it says you're in a position of authority and discussing a plan with a subordinate, or you're a subordinate discussing a plan with an authority figure. So that's something that we could try. Okay, and number 10, it says I can help with X, but not Y. So we all have the same 24 hours in a day. During some seasons, it's impossible to add more to your plate. Whether it's professional or personal, there are times when your bandwidth is limited. I think that's what we were experiencing before. But you still want to be involved in some way. This phrase lets the other person know that you're happy to help meet some of their needs, but lets you maintain your boundaries too. That's a good one.
Well, I think that's what we kind of talked about earlier about, helping other people and you coaching. Like you give them what you can do, but you can only do it, so much.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to run yourself ragged, thin.
Right.
Can't help nobody.
Right. Yeah. And then so some scenarios for that are your coworker comes to you the day before a deadline needing your help with a big project, but you have other priorities to tackle. So there's something what is it? It's like your emergency, or just because it's an emergency to you doesn't mean it's an emergency to me. Or that's not how you say it, but it's something like that. Like
that's fact.
What?
That's a fact. Some things are like that.
Like just because it's an emergency to you doesn't make that emergency for me.
Right.
So, or a family member wants to help you with throwing a party or get together and you have limited time to assist. So it says words have power, so use them wisely. Using boundary phrases may feel awkward and challenging at first. Um, Especially if you've been raised to feel like it's selfish to stand up for yourself. I got a question. Were you raised that way?
To
To
what?
feel that it feels like it's selfish to stand up for yourself?
No, I think I was raised to really kind of take care of myself. I didn't really worry about others. So what I'm learning now is to be outgoing, because I was raised to take care of yourself. Ain't nobody else to do it for you, so you need to watch out for your own back. So when I'm saying those things, I'm coming from a different place. Like, you don't need to do it, because I'm reverting back to my childhood. Like, I didn't do it as a kid. Why do I need to do it now? Where you just mentioned where my family has always been like that. My family's totally different.
Right.
We didn't. And my mom say, "Hey, show up at 3, and we might get a couple people," and then we were fine with it. We didn't need everybody. Where your family, like, we all need to be there at 3:30. Like, everybody needs to be there. And we won't start eating till everybody shows up. I'm like, well, I'm hungry. So it's just a different way I was brought up.
So it says the more you implement boundaries in your daily conversations, the more natural it will feel to self-advocate and set a precedent for communication in all relationships, professional and personal. Even better, you can be a role model for your children by showing them how to use boundaries effectively. So I thought this was a good, kind of a good overview, or just a good, something to think about in learning boundaries and how to express them, and express them to other people in a nice way,
in a positive way.
Yeah, in a positive way.
Right.
Yeah, I think it. So that's something, like I said, I need to practice saying that. Practice those, like put them on some probably some index cards. Put on some index cards and reading them to kind of stay that way. So what else are we talking about? Well, we said the name of the show is It's Okay to Say No.
We didn't even say the name of the show.
I know. Oops. So the name of the show is Setting Boundaries. It's okay to say no, because that's kind of what I had issues with. Like, it's hard for me to say no. And I'm learning that it's okay to say no. My sister says no is a full sentence. That's what she said. Like, you don't even have to explain yourself. And I know when I use the word no, I would be explaining like, well, it's because such and such and such, and this and this and that. But I like how my sister says no is a full sentence. Like, there's no explanation needed. It's no. Mm-hmm. Can you help me with this? No.
That's what she said.
Can you come over and say no?
No.
Nope. Can't do it.
And like I said, she's okay with that. And that's basically what we were talking about earlier. Is how easy it is for her, where you struggle with that no word. Like, I don't think it's in your vocabulary.
Right.
But it needs to be somewhere in there, because in the end, you're the one paying the price for it.
Right.
When you're agreeing to everything, when you're saying yes to this, when you like, I'm tired, but I feel I have to go, where I'm like, should have just said no. We wouldn't be in this situation. Right. So it's a learning process. I have to learn to have grace in those times, because there are going to be some times where I don't want to do it, but I know you've already accepted the invite, so I have to go. I want to be supportive, but I also don't want to be sitting in the corner like, look, it's time to. I don't want to be here, and I don't want to show my face. And I don't want people, when they see this, like, oh, that's why he's here. I also don't want that either. Like, he's just only here because she said this. Right. So, but it's okay. We have to learn that it's okay to say no, and still be able to sleep at night.
And it's okay for me to say, I will think about it. Let me get back to you.
Yeah.
You know, because I was alone for so long. It was just me that I had to think about, you know, saying, or Keon, and he just went where I went, you know. So, but now I'm married to you, and I value our relationship. I value our marriage, and I value your feelings and, you know, what you want to do. And so that's just me being respectful and respecting the boundary of marriage, like asking you, like, oh, okay, this is what's going on, you know, do you want to go? Can we go together?
Yeah,
Things like that, instead of just saying, oh, we'll be there.
Yeah. So just like respecting the answer, it might not be the answer that you're expecting. Because it might be a time like, yeah, we should go do that, where sometimes it's going to be a no.
Right.
And it's not because I don't want to go, because I know what's going to happen. I'm looking at the aftermath. If we say yes to this, I know in the end, either you're going to be like very exhausted from it, and you're going to pay for it, because we kind of forget that you still have MS.
Right.
And it is a debilitating if it's not taken care of.
Right.
So most of the time when I'm making saying no to something, that's not because I don't want to go. It's because I'm thinking about, well, how is this going to affect me in the end? So, and those are the things about talking about it too, you know, or communication, because it's not just a no because I don't want to do it. It's a no because I see where it might lead in the future. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that was a good conversation. We just are learning more and more about how to communicate with each other, how to set boundaries, you know, saying no is okay. And like I said, I know we talked about the current book that we're reading, The Marriage Covenant, by Dr. Stan Archie. You know, we're even learning some things in there just about the the covenant, you know, with God, and you know, our covenant in our marriage is with God about our spouse. And so we have to respect that boundary that we have, you know, that we have to prioritize, like I said, our marriage. And so that's what we're doing. We're prioritizing our marriage, you know, setting boundaries and continuing to learn and grow. And so we just encourage you all to do the same. You know, I'm glad that we were able to, you know, kind of share what we were going through and where we're at. The break was well needed. We needed that break.
Yeah,
we needed the break to focus. And even now, like, you know, when we talked about priorities, we talked about that earlier today, about priorities and setting up priorities. And like I said, this is like a good time to reset. It's August. You know, I'm prioritizing God, our marriage, which is you, and
thank you.
and my health.
Yeah, health.
So, and when I say health, that's like a holistic health, I think, like just mental health, physical health, you know. And so that's what my priorities are, because if I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not going to be around for nobody. I can't help nobody.
I think that's both of our priorities. Not just, like you say, not just physical health, but all together, mental, physically, everything. Because just like you mentioned, if we can't take care of ourselves, there's no way we can even bring content to people, because we not even want to. I don't feel like it.
Right.
You know, just like I told you when I had my mental breakdown, like, look, I can't do this today.
Right. And even our business is serve love. And so, you know, being servants, but being a servant, you still have to have something to pour out, you know. And if you aren't filling your cup, filling yourself, loving yourself, you know, enough to do that, then you won't have anything to pour out to anybody else. And so, you know, it's us pouring into ourselves, but also allowing God to pour into us, our peace is in him, our rest is in him. But if we're not prioritizing that time with him, with us, with ourselves, it's just going to be horrible. So anyway, that's what we are working on, because we want to be able to continue to be servants and pour out. But we have to be filled, and we got some more filling to do.
Right.
So I did want to play we are supported by One Church in Christ, and so we have a commercial. So we'll play that.
Hello, family. I'm Pastor Seal, and I'd like to welcome you to One Church in Christ. Join us live this Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, where we'll be broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook Live. Come with a listening heart and be inspired. We can't wait to see you there.
Okay, well, that's One Church in Christ. We meet at 11 o'clock on Sundays. If you subscribe or like the Facebook page, One Church in Christ, and it has that blue logo, the circle with the fish in it, you'll be reminded or notified when we stream live. So we stream live on Sundays. And the last Sunday of the month, we are currently at Ignite Medical Center, and we have service there with the residents there. And that's always a fun time. So, there are comments on here. Let me see what they are. Kia says she love it. I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Kia said, hopefully I will keep all these nuggets if I ever get married. And then Aunt Lolly said she is watching, and Keisha is too. Well, thank you for tuning in. And Kia, you will. We just said that words have power. There's power. The life and death is in the power of our tongue. And so you will get married. If that's your desire and you're seeking God for it, I believe it will happen. He said we ask and we shall receive, as long as it's according to his will and he's getting the glory for it. He wants us to be connected. And that's one of the things that we're learning in this book too, is that marriage is for a purpose. It's for God's purpose. And I think what we've been doing is, using it for our own purposes or what we think marriage is, but no, it's a biblical covenant, and it represents or shows the world God's love for his people. The Bible, it talks about Christ loving the church. That's what the marriage is showing other people. And so we're learning that to be in our roles and, do the things that God has called us to do. So, yes. So I believe that for you, Kia. And I'm waiting, girl. Hopefully it'll be a time where I can say yes. It's not a time where I'll say no. I know, like being, but with the boundaries, like, hopefully I'm not busy or whatever like that. Cause I want to say yes. I want to be there, girl. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. You have any last words or anything before we? Oh, everyone, if you're in Kansas City, Missouri, please join Macbeth. Let me see. Put it up here by Keon Monte. It is an immersive experience from Keon Monte, and it is going on now. Tickets are on sale. Go to www.macbethkc.com. Click on tickets, and tickets are selling fast. So there are, let's see, what's today? Saturday? So there's a show tonight, 2 shows tomorrow, and then it starts again next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and 2 shows on Sunday. So don't miss it. It's I've heard it's very good. We're excited. We're going tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So it's our son, Keon. So just excited about that. Happy for him. So if you're in Kansas City, please go to the show. Any other last things?
Next week.
Oh, see you next week.
Yeah,
like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We do have a Facebook page, but it doesn't allow us to stream on that page, which is odd, but we just post the videos on there later. So you can, look on Facebook and watch them. But if you like and subscribe on YouTube, you'll be notified when we come on again. So, all right, everyone, have a wonderful day or evening. And we love you all.
And see you next week.
Bye.